The most common pavement marking at the end of a runway is a simple white line or just a set of bars indicating the runway threshold. Pilots need to be familiar with several other types of markings, though. The next most common is probably the displaced threshold. This marking moves the landing part of the runway away from some obstruction. In this example, it's keeping landing planes from descending too low over the nearby road. These are marked with white arrows leading up to the actual threshold. The obstruction is no problem for an aircraft taking off, so planes can use the full length for the takeoff roll. This similar marking is a relocated threshold. In this case, the taxiway has been extended around to the threshold of the runway, but as the yellow paint shows, it's just a taxiway and cannot be used for takeoff or landing, even though it's lined up with the runway. This type is rarer, and usually only because of temporary construction, but it can be to allow a larger buffer for aircraft landing the other direction. In this case, the threshold is moved to keep prop wash from affecting the road on takeoff. Here we see a relocated threshold, followed by a displaced threshold, followed by the actual runway. Aircraft must taxi to the yellow demarcation bar before adding power for takeoff, but must land beyond the second white threshold line. Finally, a frequent sight are these areas with yellow chevrons. These markings show pavement areas aligned with the runway that are unusable for landing, takeoff, and taxiing. This is used for blast pads, stopways, and those EMAS pads that break up when a plane overruns the runway. These typically won't be accessible by taxiway. If there's a displaced threshold too, they'll be separated with a yellow demarcation bar. Any bit of pavement that is lined up has to be marked this way, like this 20-foot section that doesn't even have room for a full chevron. Now here's the figure for this question. A shows an area prior to a displaced threshold at B. This area can be used for takeoff and taxi, but not landing. E shows an area of unusable pavement, either a blast pad or a stopway. It cannot be used for taxiing, takeoff, or landing, only for an unintentional overrun. Answer A is correct, and these markings apply regardless of aircraft weight.